how do you make money in retirement? Well, the good news is there's never been more opportunity than there is today for you to make great money in retirement. Right now, we have over 10,000 people a day turning 65 years old, heading into retirement. And unfortunately, probably 9,000 of those people don't have enough savings to go through retirement and really live a great lifestyle. They're going to be sort of shuffling by on Social Security, maybe a small pension, maybe their savings, and they're worried. And the good news I have for you, you do not need to worry. What you need to do is take action. Because I know when I'm worried, the best thing I can do is get up off the couch and take some action. And that's what I want you to do today. And I'm going to share with you some of the best things that you can do in retirement to make great money. The first thing you want to do is to know yourself. What is your temperament? What are your skills? And what do you want to do? And I don't think in retirement you should just replace one 40-hour-a-week job with another. Instead, I think you should be a little more crafty about it. Let's think about what skills you bring that are unique, your life experience that's unique, your business successes, your business knowledge, and how can we bring that to other people and make great money with it? And that's what I think about. So there are lots of things you can do. So I do a business called Overages. I'll tell you about that because I have lots of retired people that do that. This is a business where we talk to homeowners who have lost their house to a foreclosure sale. I guess I should correctly say former homeowners who have lost their home. Now what happens, they didn't pay their real estate taxes for 3 or 4 years for any of various reasons, just falling on hard times. And then their house gets sold by the government. And what people don't know, and the big secret, is that oftentimes there's money left over that the former homeowner can claim. All they have to do is apply for it, but the homeowner has no idea there's any money they could claim or even how they would claim it. And instead, they sit on the couch depressed. So what we do in this business, and what my retired folks that are doing it do it, is we get the lists of people owed the money. Those are public record lists, very easy to get. They get the list of people owed the money, and then get the contact information for the people owed the money. Again, not a very difficult process. That you can look people up online, just like you look up an old high school classmate. They're very easy to do these days. I train people to do that in half an hour. And then they reach out to the people and they say, hey, I'm calling or I'm texting or I'm sending you a letter because there's some money that you're eligible to claim and I'd hate to see you lose this money. It's going to forfeit to the government unless we get it. So would you like some help getting it? And oftentimes an interesting thing about this for a retired person, which I assume is where you are if you're watching this video about how to make money in retirement, when you're that person, they're probably in a similar age to you because it's older people who tend to lose their houses at tax sales. It's not younger people. Now, why is that? Because when you're younger and you have a mortgage, the mortgage company makes sure that the taxes are paid. And they make sure those real estate taxes are paid because if they're not paid, then the mortgage will no longer be a lien on the real estate once that property goes through tax sale. And that's a big, big deal for people, for mortgage companies. So they make sure those taxes are paid. It's when people are older, where they typically have paid off the mortgage, or it's a refinanced mortgage that's no longer keeping track of tax payments. Those are the people who tend to lose houses. The other thing is that younger people haven't had enough life to happen to lose houses that they've just bought. Someone says 30 years old when they buy their first house, and they're in their prime working years, and they're doing fine. Maybe it's usually two people working, a husband and a wife, or a couple that's living together. So they're both working, and they can pay their mortgage. It may be a struggle, but they'll pay it. It's when people get older, 60, 70, 80 years old, maybe they've lost their partner, maybe they've become ill, maybe they've just, they've had to retire. And those are the people whose houses get lost to tax sales. So the reason this is relevant to you, as an older person, these are your peers. These are people that you can talk to, you can relate to, and you guys can have some things in common. Many things in life, there's sort of discrimination against older people. Like you don't see oh, this is a new pop star who's 70 years old. That doesn't happen. Or a new movie star that's 70 years old. No, that doesn't happen. Or a new CEO of a company that started when he was 60 and now he's 70 is the CEO. No, that's not the way it works. So we have a lot of age discrimination. But in this overages business, you're working with older people. So I like that business. If you want to know more about that, there's a link down below. You can watch my short 10-minute video on Introduction to Overages. My point is that this is a business older people do because it's basically work from home. You're looking up some information on the internet, not difficult to do. Even if all you know right now is how to do a Google search and how to do email, you could do the overages business. That's enough technical skill. I just need to train you for the specifics of this business, but that's doable. But the reason I like the overages business for retired people, and the reason so many of my retired people like it, is that it involves talking to people, communicating with people, getting some rapport with people, and getting them on board with you. So, and that, I think, as an older person, is things that you're skilled at. You know, it's not like the first time you've met a new person and you're talking them into doing something. Like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner tomorrow night? Or do you want to have a party? Or do you want to do this? We spend our lives persuading people of doing things. And when you're working with your peer group, that's a great business. Other things you can do as a retired person to make money, you can do consulting in whatever thing you've been doing. And I don't care whether you're a bookkeeper or a CFO, or, you know, like I have a friend of mine who does consulting who's in her 80s, and she was in the dental business. She used to make dentures and dental appliances and teeth and things like that. There are labs that make those things. And she owned one of them, so she now runs around the world doing consulting. Now, she works at her own pace. She's probably doing, I would guess, 30 or 40 days of consulting a year. Keeps her involved in life, keeps her mind active, brings extra money in, helps her to live a good life. So you can think about that. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't care if you're a bookkeeper. Why do I say that? There are so many small businesses who can't keep their books, and it's just a distraction to them, so they don't do it until, you know, it's tax time, then they rush to get all the books together. If they have someone who's a bookkeeper that can keep all that straight, they're so happy. You can take your life skills, whatever they were, and offer them as a service. And some really easy ways to get started with this, if you're going to do like consulting or offer services, go on a platform like Fiverr or Upwork. Those are two electronic platforms where people can find you as a provider and you offer your services. Often with those platforms, you'll start doing work for someone, you build some rapport, you like them, they like you, they like your work, you like doing their work. Oftentimes those become full-time or part-time gigs, because someone says, you know what, I really need about 8 hours a week of this. Would you be willing to do like 8 hours a week for me during the week just to keep the books up to date? Or help me with my advertising copy, or help me with my, you know, do some consulting for my management issues, you know, how to organize this. Whatever your skills are, those are great ways to start. And you know, it doesn't cost you money to become a contractor on Fiverr or Upwork. They're very easy. You can do some searches and find them. And you can look into, you know, offering your skills. The thing I'd offer you most if you want to work in retirement is, first of all, do it. It keeps you active. It keeps you engaged in the world, keeps your mind going. And I was talking to a doctor friend of mine just yesterday about retiring, and he said, you know, are you thinking about retiring? I'm like, no, because I like what I do. I like the mental challenge. I like the stimulation. I like, you know, making a video that maybe reaches out to someone's heart and helps them. I really like doing that. So I want to do that, and I don't want to retire because I'd be bored after 3 or 4 months. And he's like, yeah, you know, I understand exactly what you're saying. He said, I've trained 100 fellows, which are fellow doctors. He's a very noted surgeon that I was talking to. And he's like, I can't see not doing that. He's like, I had a friend who quit work, and you know, he was telling me all about this bicycle he bought and had electronic gears, all this fancy stuff. And he said a week later, he got hit by a car and died. And not that you're going to get hit by a car and die if you retire, but the point is that you can stay engaged with what you're doing using your knowledge, and I think that's often healthier. And to me, I think I'll just continue to work. I'll slow my rate down. I'm not going to work as much, but I don't see not doing it. I love doing it. And when you find things that you love to do and value you can bring, that's where your retirement business is going to come from. So don't undersell yourself. You do not have to be a greeter at Walmart or a greeter at Home Depot. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the only thing out there. Look at your own skills and say, you know, can my skills and my life experience help other people? And I guarantee you the answer to that is yes, they can. And then I encourage you to be brave. Don't let anybody convince you can't do it. You're too old, you're too this, oh, blah. Nonsense. Everybody can tell you why you can't do it. It's the great man or woman that goes and does it anyway, because we all can't do it. You know, I can't be a business owner or phenomenally successful because I'm too short. I had people actually tell me that. I'm like, that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of. Or, oh, you really can't, you know, be on camera doing videos because you're not really that engaging. You're kind of flat. Well, I would say that my results speak differently. I've been doing teaching and this kind of stuff for years, and I have huge followings. Why is that? Is it because of my good looks or tallness? No, it's not that. It's because I bring people value. So don't let anybody undervalue you and tell you can't do it, because you can do it. We all offer something special. And I often think about that, about the intersection of what are our skills and temperament. You say, I have this special skill, like my dental friend. She knows dental laboratories. She's also super good with people. She's also really good at explaining. So she gets those 3 things. She knows dental technology, she's really good with people, and she's really good at explaining. Those three things come together, and that makes her special. So think about where your skills and temperament and experience overlap, and that's where you're special, and that's where you can bring great value into the world, and that's where you can make great money. So I encourage you to be brave, to try, and if your family's going to discourage you, then guess what? Don't tell them what you're doing. Just go do it. And when they say, hey, what are you doing, Mom? Or what are you doing, Dad? You say, oh, I've been doing this little consulting. And, oh, I thought you were retired. Don't even listen to them. Follow your own heart and your own mind, and you can be phenomenally successful. This is attorney, investor, and entrepreneur Bob Diamond. Hope this is helpful. If you like it, give it a thumbs up so we can help more people. If you don't like it, put a note down there, and I'll know what you didn't like and know to do less of that. And if you liked it, obviously subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing lots more information to help you have a better life and to be the captain of your own financial ship.